proper form. Thank you for your silliness. That was easy. Seems like I did the right thing teleporting you here. Watch out! As for you guys, you are of no use to me anymore. Now, get out of my spiritual domain!
Hello YouTube, my name is River, also known as Nirvana in my friend circle, and today I want to talk about the new game called Higan Eruthyll. I have no idea how to pronounce that. The game got quite the controversy in the Gacha community because of multiple reasons. The biggest issue the game is currently facing is that its visuals and gameplay have to compete with the probably biggest and most hyped Gacha game coming out this year. You are right, it's Honkai Star Rail. Let me say it from the get-go, this is an uphill battle that Higan Eruthyll cannot win and should not try to win. While Higan is unique enough to stand out on its own, it also faces the harsh reality that it is published by Bilibili, or however this company is pronounced, which also has not the best reputation in the Gacha community. Many players are assuming that Higan got released in its current state out of panic to milk the players as much as they can before Honkai Star Rail officially releases. This wouldn't be a big issue if Higan would have been considered polished in its current state. But the beta and soft launch of the server Vanguard showed some clear issues according to the players that played in it. With that out of the way, Higan itself is not a bad game. I would go so far and say that if Higan was released a few months ago, it would have had great success in the Gacha community instead of receiving all the doomsday that it is facing currently. So, with all that out of the way, let's talk about the good, the meh, and the ugly of Higan Eruthyll.
Winds of fate, hear me.
The good of Higan. Higan is a 3D RTS game in which you are using a party of up to 4 units to defeat your opponents. For a mobile game, the graphics are up to date and offer a visually pleasing gameplay. The gameplay is fun and has theoretically deeper layers of strategy to it, which in the early stage can be mostly ignored if you do the common "I pushed all my resources into a few units to progress as far as I can" trick. It's not really a trick, it's just what we do with our monkey brains because it's the easiest way to progress, and yeah, most Gacha games are suited to do so. It's the best thing you can do. The transition between the fights has a nice gimmick in which you can move from one stage to another instead of, like many Gacha games have a loading screen or something like that, you could say, to move from one stage to another. Higan has a nice gimmick of where you move from one stage to another while the characters are moving. So it looks like you are progressing while it's looked like an RPG game and you are moving, but you're not really moving. It's a nice gimmick, we don't need it, but it makes the game in the end nicer to look at. So it's a plus. We also have voiced cutscenes. And this is a controversial one because the cutscenes itself are horrible, but the voice acting is really good. But how do I put this? It just don't go together. The voice acting is so great, and they try so hard, but the cutscenes, it doesn't feel like the people are talking to each other. It's just like, I don't know, it's like the one games where the people, the mouth is not moving because you don't see the mouth moving according to the text, not even close. And the cutscene is just playing and it's like some people they are talking but you don't see them talking, and I guess that's it. It's very horrible to watch, but the voice actors did a really good job at doing the best out of this bad situation. I didn't try the Japanese voice actors yet, or what was it, Japanese? Whatever, some Eastern language, but I will try it too, and maybe it's better. One of my favorites are the visual character design. The visual character designs is partly really amazing, and you can clearly see that the developer team responsible for it, they tried really hard to make them stand out. Even so, like I said, it's partly really amazing, some I think are really horrible, and it's probably ends up to the taste. I like clean designs, simple designs, and some people like freaky designs. And freaky designs, I mean with that, I don't like it. It's when it's so overflowed with cringe stuff and so, and the character feels like just how do I say it, like a dumpster of assets to make it look special, but in the end it looks less special, you know? So in my case, I really like Ume, because she looks so incredibly clean. I'm not a lolly lover. I just like the design. She's also seen often in the trailers and stuff, and I think she's a character that stands out and is really lovely. But in the end, she's an R-rated character, so she sucks, and we come to that later. So those were the good points. It weren't that many, but they are clearly, in my point of view, good points for the games, and it's really what makes the game stand out from the billions of other gachas who hit at end of service, if you can say so. And yeah, even with all its struggles, in the end, good points. Let's move on. Let's go to the meh. Gacha games have many common characteristics between all games, and doing wishes for new units is what of course gives the genre its name. Talking of wishes, there's nothing new here. You get your basic gacha currency to wish for new units, a 2% base chance to get an SSR unit with a 50% chance that it actually be the featured unit, which is Genshin flashbacks. And with simplified maths, you have a 1% chance with each try to get your featured unit. So, not bad, not good, it's meh. The hard pity is 120, which sounds not too shabby. Some have 200, as you know. Genshin is also very close to 200, not very close, but close to 200. And you could have a hard pity of 30. The problem is how much of the currency we get. And in its current state, we get a lot of currency from the main stages. The question is, how much do we get daily, weekly, monthly? And with that, it doesn't look good. Some people did the calculation, and it looks like that you need multiple months to get a hard pity. And we have to see how the events look like. With the events, everything can change in this case. PvP. PvP is, from my point of view, in any game a good thing. So as far my sources suggest, it will be auto and not RTS, which would be hard to execute in this game anyway. Real time with this mechanic not easy. This makes it the average meh PvP gacha thing, with whales being on the top for a very long time. But with PvP included, this game actually has endgame content, in which you can show off what you have achieved and that motivates you to keep playing. This could be probably the biggest reason why players would prefer Higan over Honkai Star Rail, including myself. If Honkai Star Rail will be as casual as Genshin is, then the only real endgame it will have will be the fanbase and the art they are creating, which of course is not my cup of tea. The cash shop in this game is a bit aggressive, with deals left and right and an annoying pop-up appearing every time you log in. It deserves the meh category because annoying deals are better than no deals, like Genshin for example. And while it will annoy the free-to-play player, it is an actually great shop for small and big spenders in the gacha genre. Just do not overspend in the honeymoon phase, my friends. We all know how it ends. You play a new game, you're like, oh my god, this is it, I will play it forever. 2 weeks later, you are sunken cost fallacy, you're too deep in to get out now. And 4 weeks later, you give up. All the money wasted and you move on. It's just don't do it, guys, don't overspend. Well, of course there are far more meh things to talk about in this game, but meh is basically just the average you see in a gacha game. So far, nothing else seems noteworthy to me. Now we get to the least favorite of my topics, the bad. And sadly I have to say, stamina is one of those. Like mostly newly released gacha games, the only thing that hinders you to keep playing is stamina. And needless to say, without the stamina refreshers we got for free in the early stages, plus the XP we get from leveling up our account, which in turn also gives us more stamina, the gameplay per day would be extremely short. Your account progression is extremely limited by this resource, and it is easy to picture that there will be days or weeks in which you basically do nothing but log in to deplete your stamina in a few minutes, then log off. As I do not know the endgame of Higan yet, I assume that it will be nearly impossible to make this game a real main game for anyone, like Genshin, Honkai Impact, Epic 7 or Counter-Strike can be, who have sweaty fun competitive game modes, a whole world to explore, or a PvP RTA with infinite replayability. But if the endgame in Higan will be actually diverse, then that might of course change everything. Story. How do I say it? The story is not a good selling point for the game. It is not just extremely generic, it doesn't really help you feeling immersed in the world. In most games I play, I roughly understand what is going on, even when I skip all dialogues. This is not the case with Higan. I feel like watching an action movie in which all the budget was spent for the action, and it is the best for you to just turn your head off and enjoy the show as your protagonist is dragged into something so generic that it is hard to stay interested. While the voiced cutscenes are a big plus, they can't help the player to connect with the characters. You literally do not give a duck, because what is going on anyway, right? Character strength via rarity. Sadly, Higan is also one of those games in which the rare rated units are far inferior compared to super rare units. While you can use rare units to effectively progress, the power level and overall strength of the units fall extremely off, compared to their rarer counterparts. This is actually sad, as quite a few rare rated units are very well designed, and in my view, some SSR units look way more generic than the rare counterparts. It does not help that the game has a penalty system for not having the needed party total power, like Nika. So if you focus on rare units, you will end up with far lower calculated power levels for the stage, leaving you with inferior units and a penalty. In my point of view, all characters should have their niche regardless of rarity. And it is clear that the rare units only exist to be power crept in the near future, via superior stats, abilities and imprint system. Of course, there could be more said, but those are the things that mainly caught my attention while playing the first day of Higan. I think there's a lot of light and shadow going on, and Higan itself is highly underrated but with clear flaws. If you enjoy the game, I would highly suggest to give it a few weeks to see how the endgame playloop will keep you attached. Higan definitely deserves a bit of attention and is one of the bigger games released this year. It just happens that Higan is overshadowed by Honkai Star Rail, the big brother for yours. So that's it. Thank you everyone for listening, and feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel to motivate me to do more reviews of games. I will slowly building up my internet presence and also stream during weekends. Also, I will try to improve the content I am creating, as I'm clearly new to cutting videos and audio, and we will see how it goes. I wish you all the best, have a good one, bye!